guys, welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Next video we're going to take a look at another one of the figures from the Black Series, and this one is from a timeline set either between the Mandalorian and in the Clone Wars and Rebels this character is, and that's of course Katan Kryze. Great character to have, especially in the collection there. Now before we look at her properly, we'll take a look at the packaging this one comes in. As you can see, Hasbro for the Black Series have chosen to give it the Mandalorian themed deco down the bottom rather than the Clone Wars or Rebels. And I think this is mainly because the fact that when they've done Black Series figures, they prefer to put them in the live action scale, and that's what they based this for the Black Series. And of course Bo-Katan was rather popular for being in the Mandalorian at that point. But we got that good image of the character in her armour there. A great look down on the side. Well, that's probably my favourite side artwork that I've got of the Black Series figures, is that one there. And then just looking at it from the back there, it just really looks great. Seeing it the straight image. And there's the bio. If you want to pause and read that, you can. But yeah, this is great packaging, worth having for this figure. Definitely, as I said, 100% recyclable. It's all separate, the card and the bubble, all separate parts, but worth the packaging keep if you're keeping the packaging or just keeping them for the mural parts. That's something to definitely go for. Now we start looking down at the figure herself now, and as I said, Hasbro have really done themselves good with this one. There's really so much effort put into it, just with the sculpting, the sort of helmet, giving her the Night Owls look on her helmet that she has, as we've seen her in the Clone Wars and Rebels, and then the Mandalorian of course. And then the full scale down, they've really sculpted the armour extremely well, really giving the character life as it is. All the different, like they've decaled all the details on there, like all the logos on her armour, both sides, and then her armour parts all the way down. It feels like looks like a simple figure at first, but it's a really good one to have. It was hard to get my hands on this one actually, but thanks to a little tip off from Steve, I managed to get to Smith's Toys and pick one of these up for myself. So that was always a good addition to have. So shout out to SithLord229 for that. So that's always good to have. Go through a few little features on the figure. Now we do have as I said, we do have the helmet, and the rangefinder on this one is movable down like that. Something the Black Series have only kind of recently started doing with these, because the original Jango and Boba Fett didn't have this feature, which I found rather odd, because most figures in the past had done them before. So I found it a little bit strange why they wouldn't do it. But it's good to see they've started doing it with some of them, and you can bend the rangefinder down, up and down and all that, and even have it behind as well. So that's good to have. Another accessory is the jetpack. This is removable. Apparently it's got quite a loose hold on the figure, and you've got the small peg at the back, but I've managed to get it in because I have it on the shelf and I don't really have it not coming down. It does seem to hold in pretty well on my figure. I don't know if it's just my figure, or because I think when I was watching SithLord229's review, he was mentioning that to do with the jetpack, but I don't seem to have had any problem with it, because I've had it in perfectly fine, and it holds in well. I haven't needed to glue it down yet. But the detail there, if you want to have a look at the detail there, that's good to have. And then of course you do get Bo-Katan's twin pistols that she wields when we've seen her on screen. These can be removed and placed into the holsters right here. So one in there and one in there. I'll just straight up the figure this time round. So obviously one of the main features you can do with this one is remove the helmet, so it does come nicely off, and you get the great sculpt of Bo-Katan herself in character, as the character we've seen. Basically this is the Mandalorian version of course, with it being live action sculpted, so that works out well for Hasbro there, because of course they have sculpted her on the likeness of Katie Sackhoff, the actress who played her, who voiced her in the Clone Wars, then went on to play her in the Mandalorian. There we go, just got her holding the helmet there. And they've really done themselves good in sculpting Bo-Katan there. Like that really matches up to Katie Sackhoff. It's excellent, just catching it there. Like I even saw, like, there was an Instagram story of Katie Sackhoff herself getting this figure, and just her level of excitement makes you know how much she likes the figure as well, just as much as any of us would. So that was a good thing to see. But I'll give a rundown of the articulation. You get the ball joint, double hinge joint at the neck, as the Black Series do now. You get these sort of butterfly arms at the shoulders with the ball hinges. You get the ball-hinged shoulders and ball-hinged elbows, should I say, and the ball-hinged wrists. A ball-jointed torso, which is a little bit restricted this time, not as massively ball-jointing as previous other figures. Ball-hinged hips, swivels at the thighs, ball-hinged knees, and ball-joint rockers at the ankles. So it's the good old super articulation that we're now used to when it comes to the Black Series figures. Because of course they've kind of done away with the double joints. As much as I do miss them a little bit, but they're not a massive loss when they have them now. But this one works out as a figure. She's a great, because Bo-Katan is just one of those big fan favourite characters that have come out of the Clone Wars, and of course bringing it to live action is really upped it for the fans. Because of course she ended up being ruler of Mandalore in Rebels with the Darksaber, but then of course that fell into the hands of Moff Gideon. So then she showed up again in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, met Din Djarin and Grogu, and of course she directed him in the direction of Ahsoka, so that's what came up. And then of course she returned in the final episode of Season 2 and helped rescue helped rescue Din, Boba Fett and Fennec, and Cara Dune rescue Grogu from Moff Gideon. So it was a good role she had in the 2 episodes she was in. I'd say, yeah, and it's just a great character to have. Like as I said, I was wanting to get my hands on this one a lot when I saw it. I missed it on Star Action Figures. But I'll leave a link to where you can buy this from Star Action Figures in the description below. But as I said, I got this one from Smith's Toys when I learned that they were in stock there. So I ended up just running to Smith's like one day and then just picking this lass up, and yeah, got her on my shelf now. So that's all ideal. Any fans of Bo-Katan, if you're in the UK, can pick her up from Smith's Toys most likely now. I've been back in since. Still got plenty in stock at the one I'm at, so there's plenty there. I'll just put the helmet back on now, because she does a mix of wearing the helmet and being without it. Sort of has a nice snug fit around the character. It's sort of like perfectly round the top of it, so it does fit nicely underneath. You can see there, but it does you can't really bolt hinge the head up without the chin showing at the bottom. So that's a little issue. Maybe they could have just tightened it a little bit more to keep it down, but it's not too much of a thing to worry about. Just put the blasters back in hold, because I think she looks best with them. So I have her on the shelf with the helmet on and that, as most collectors probably do. Most of you watching probably do, if you have her unboxed, of course. Because if you just have a mint in box, because the character there, she doesn't actually have the helmet on when in the packaging, but when you take her out, she does have it. So that's how we got there. But yeah, that is Bo-Katan from the Black Series there. I mean, this is just a worthy addition. Take a full look down at the markings again if you want to see those. Just really great detail. Just everything's gone into it, and a bit of dirt down the bottom, scratches from previous combat battles. Of course, there's the sort of arc the story she goes through. Because obviously she's the sister of Katan Kryze, and of course Satine is killed by Maul in the Clone Wars. So that's probably the next member we want to see. Someone I want to see from the Clone Wars of the Black Series is Satine. So it'd be good to get her at some point in the Black Series line. But as long as we've got one of them anyway, so just a matter of time till we get the other one. So we'll have to wait and see. And there could be plenty more that we get Bo-Katan with in the coming years of what there is with Star Wars, because she could end up showing up in there may be a chance she shows up in the Book of Boba Fett. She could by any chance show up in the Bad Batch. We just have to wait and see what happens, because I feel there's a story out of the Clone Wars to come from this, with the aftermath of the Mandalore siege, because the Empire of course rises, because Bo-Katan's with Ahsoka when she goes to Mandalore to liberate the place and defeat Maul, and then of course Ahsoka leaves Bo-Katan on Mandalore with Maul, and then of course Order 66 is activated, so we don't really see much of what happens with Mandalore after, except when we get to Rebels, and then Sabine Wren sort of calls on Bo-Katan to help liberate once again, basically. Yeah, but yeah, that's what we have to see. Look forward to. So if we get any Bo-Katan in the coming in the Bad Batch, I think that would be great. But again, we can't really guarantee what else we get. Or if we get Katie Sackhoff reprising the role in live action again, I think it'd be fantastic. I'll just take the helmet off again so you can see her. But yeah, that's a really well sculpted face as well. Like you've got your option of displaying her without the helmet, with or without the helmet. And if you're someone who displays figures according to episode or TV show, this is one. This is probably one you won't really be able to decide where to put it, whether you want to put her with Clone Wars or with Rebels or with Mandalorian. It's a hard one to decide, but I've just got this along a miscellaneous bunch of TV figures that I have in my cabinet, so that's probably where this one's going to stay at the minute, because she just fits in nicely there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed looking at the Bo-Katan figure. As I said again, I'll leave a link to Star Action Figures, and I'll also leave a link to Smith's Toys as well, in case you want to order her there if she's out of stock on Star Action Figures. There's a likely chance you'll be able to get her ordered from there, or be able to go into a Smith's Toys and pick her up. So if you can, get your hands on her, because that'd be great. But yeah, but thanks for having a look at Bo-Katan. I hope you enjoyed looking at the figure. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do drop a like if you did, and if you please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe for more content, and my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram links are all down there in the description below. I'll see you next time.